That's a tough pick. Ghostbusters or Goonies? Both! Woo! Skull Key, Ghost Trap. Yo, guys, fears. Audience, fears, what's going on? I got Jaws on today. Jaws. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Another great film. If you guys have never seen Jaws, watch it immediately. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I had a pretty productive day, but coffee first. In my Fears Man 26 mug. I love using it. There we are. Yummy. Anyway, yeah, it was a pretty good day. Very productive day. Last night at work, we had like 39,000-ish, something like that, 3940. Towards the end, I was getting box crazy because we had so many boxes. But there you are. So somewhere around there. Anyway, guys, we got some very exciting news, and we got some very exciting updates coming. Today is my buddy Eric's 40th birthday. I already texted him. I already gave him a call. And I said, yo, dude, Eric, welcome to the club. I'm 41, about to be 42. So he just turned 40, and I was like, well, yeah, dude. So he said, oh, thanks, Fears. I appreciate that. So I already sent him a birthday card, so that's on the way. And then the next bit of good news is Father's Day is next, I believe it's next Monday. I already sent my Father's Day card off to my mom, so whenever my mom visits my dad, she can read it to him. So it's next, let's see, we're on the 11th, and it's the 15th. So this Sunday, not next Monday, this Sunday is Father's Day. So I started using the Father's Day thumbnails, and the thumbnail today is I got a dad with a kid on his shoulder, and on the back of the dad it says my hero, because my dad is my hero. He's one of my heroes. Grandpa Fears is one of my heroes. My dad, all of you guys, all the fans, you guys are my heroes. Steven Spielberg, big fan. And he's one of my heroes. George Lucas, of course, is one of my heroes. But my dad's at the top of the list. He's at the top of the list. Then after that, July 1st is my mom's birthday. So that means we've got to get some birthday ideas going. So tomorrow, that'll be one of the topics. What should I get my mom for her birthday? What should I get? And then next, let's see, let's go into July. Next, let's see, around the middle of July is when my cousins and my aunt are coming to visit, and then my brother's birthday is on the 30th. So I gotta get my brother a gift and mail it to him. So yeah. So all good stuff. And then in August, I'm going to go visit my parents. I haven't decided when. Sometime in August. I didn't want to keep them waiting until October, around my birthday. So I thought, I'm just going to go visit them now. And then September 1st, we've got Labor Day. So lots of exciting events coming up, my friends. Let's see, what else? In between all that is, hang on, let me grab it. I should have grabbed it. I should have prepared. I'm sorry, I forgot to grab it. Let's see, on June 15th, so that's this Sunday, I'm going to the Orlando Toy Show. Right there. Oh, yeah. And then in July, I'm not missing the Tampa Toy Con. Anyway, I scratched a few off the list, and I want to hear from you guys. If you guys have not sent any fan mail ever, send me some fan mail. If you have sent me fan mail, send me some more, because I love hearing from you guys. Right here, 16745 CAGAN's Crossings Boulevard, STE 102B, PMB 40, Claremont, Florida 34714. I haven't gotten any fan mail in quite a while, my friends, so I can't wait to hear from you. And but I don't force my fans. I just, whenever you want to send it, you send it, and then when I get some, then I'll read it out on, most likely in a live stream. But every once in a while, I put some fan mail, in a video, or like in a vlog or whatever, or on FearsMan26. So anyway, so yeah, both Fears fans, FearsMan26 fans, send me some. And Fears Vlogs fans. Oh, yeah. All right. Tomorrow's thumbnail should be, I got a little heart that says, I Heart Dad. So I think that'll be the thumbnail for tomorrow. Because now we're getting close to Father's Day. But yeah, it's been a pretty good day. Let's see, what else? I meant to work out today, but what turned into a little nap became a big nap. So I got home, took a shower. I made some eggs. 2 eggs. And some orange juice. And then I did some laundry while I was watching a movie. Finished my laundry for today. I've been lazy and I haven't done laundry like in 2 weeks. That's why it's taken forever to get all my laundry done. And then as soon as I finished, I did 2 loads of laundry, folded them, hung them up, put them back in my closet. And then let's see, what else did I do? I went to get some gas in my car. And then I went and got some lunch at Chipotle. I haven't had it in quite a while. I just had 2 tacos, though. Just 2 tacos. And then I came back. That was around, I think, 2. And I thought, I'll take a nap. And then I'll go work out. And as soon as I hit my head on that pillow, I was out. I just woke up maybe an hour ago. So, yeah. So I got a couple things done, but it was more like a chillax day. I'm going to make up for it. I'm working out tomorrow. So, yeah. As long as I get 4 days in, I don't care what 4 days out of the week I get my workouts in, So, I'll get them all in. But I'm really excited about Jeff's convention, which I'm going to open up the website here later on, and I'm going to read what the summer, because I haven't been to that summer show in... He only does the Orlando Summer Show sometimes twice a year, sometimes once a year. Sometimes he'll have like 2 shows, like one in June and one in July. Seems like the Orlando Summer Show is only once this year. Last year he had it twice. One in June and one in July. So we'll see. We shall see, my friends. All right. Well, without further ado, let's open up the chat, and then I'm going to put the link in the Discord, and then we'll get moseying. And I appreciate all my fans, all the likes and all the comments and all the views. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Plus, it was really cool to see, over this last weekend, I saw tons of Ghostbuster, videos pop up on YouTube. I saw a whole bunch of Goonies. I gotta say, a lot of it was Adam the Woo, but there was some other YouTubers that I watched that was, man, they were pumping out the Ghostbusters and the Goonies stuff. All right, today's topics, before I open up the chat. Today we're going to review 3 movies. So I did Escape from New York. Pretty good. I thought I had already done that one, but apparently I've watched it before, but I haven't reviewed it for you guys, and I hadn't put it in my movie app, that keeps progress of how many movies you watch in your lifetime. And then Prince of Darkness, I thought I had done this one, so I thought, well, I'll watch this one too, because this was made by John Carpenter, one of my favorite directors. This was directed by John Carpenter. And then last night I went on a binge, and these episodes are not that long. They're like 25 minutes each. So I watched the entire 5th season of Home Improvement. So we're going to review that. And so after we review all these, Then we're going to do the top 10 episodes of season 5. And the only reason why I picked season 5 is they have like 3 of my favorite episodes. And one of the episodes is where Tim Taylor, that his real name is Tim Allen, but his character name is Tim Taylor. Him and Al Bundy make The Man's Bedroom. That's one of my favorite episodes, and I'll have to look at the names to see the other ones, but The Man's Bedroom is like one of my favorite episodes. And then The Man's Kitchen, I believe, is in season 4 or season 6. So, yeah. Plus, I was getting tired of watching. Yeah, you have to take a little break from the Little House on the Prairie. I'm on season 7 of Little House on the Prairie, so I thought, you know what? I'll watch one season of this. So I intend to watch all of, I think it has 8 seasons, but I just thought I would start with season 5 is one of my favorite seasons. It's not my favorite season, but it's one of my favorite seasons. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to, since in honor of Father's Day, I thought I'll do the top 10 things about my dad that I like. Top 10 things about my dad that I like, which is a lot, but I thought that would make a good top 10 in honor of my dad. And then I'm going to try and pick the greatest movie locations of all time. The greatest movie locations of all time. I haven't picked a number, just I'll select a few. And so if we get to that. If we don't get to that today, then we'll do it tomorrow, because I always put more topics than I have what to do with, and then wherever the stream takes us, that's where it takes us. And if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, then there it is. And, you know, we can always do it tomorrow. All right. Let's open up the chat here. I'll select a few. And so if we get to that, there we are. Yo, Jucifer, what's up? And then Alex says, hey, Fears, what's going on? How you doing? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing awesome. Let me just, I'll dump the link in the chat. There we are. Yo, Mr. Lantern, what's up? Mr. Lantern may have already dumped it into the link, but in case he didn't, I'm going to do it. There you are. There we go. Give me 1 second here. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. Pretty good day, my friends. Lantern apparently took my name. Now Lantern in the Discord is FearsMan26. It's pretty funny, Lantern. Pretty funny, my friend. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, Mr. Lantern already posted it. Well, that's okay. I'll post it again. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Mr. Lantern says, well, howdy, Jucifer. It's Jucifer, y'all. Hi, Lantern. Well, howdy, Alex. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I think there's something wrong with my audio. Every once in a while, the audio, like, it sounds like I'm a robot or some shit. Hang on, let me play it back. Let me play it back. Let me see here. Mr. Lantern says, well, howdy, Jucifer. Oh, it's man. Jucifer, y'all. Hi, Lantern. Well, howdy. Oh, man. I sound like a fucking robot. Hang on. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Let me turn down my my audio. There we go. I always hate when this happens. Let me just turn it down a little bit. I know, right, Lantern? Howdy, robot voice. I hear you. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. There we go. Let's see. Let me grab my let me grab these. I'm just gonna plug these in for the moment and see if I fixed my audio. We got 12 people here. Nice. Nice. Let me just fix this real quick. Sorry about that. I don't know why it does this sometimes, but every once in a while it happens. Okay, test. Now let me just listen to this. Test. Let's see here. That sounds better. That sounds a lot better. There we go. That sounds a lot better. Let's see. Well, I'll just keep my headphones in for quite a while, my friends, because I don't feel like fiddling with the audio all day. So yeah. Sorry that happened. All right. Well, let's get moseying, my friends. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Robot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Lantern. Lantern. Sometimes it happens. Hey, Lantern. Coffee first. Even though I did, I'll do it again for you, buddy. There we go. Well, it's a shame that Lantern has no stream time, I guess, for Thursday. But Lantern, I guess we'll see you next week. By the way, I want to show you guys something. I disassembled it and I redid it. I rebuilt the block of cheese, so it looks a little bit different. I need more yellow pieces. I want it to be more flat. I've got the back part pretty good. And it comes over. I just need more yellow. So whenever I get more, so this is how it's going to look for right now. When I get more yellow pieces, I'm going to have it slant down like, a block of cheese. So I rebuilt that today too. I'm sorry, last night before I went to work. Excuse me. So yeah. So there it is. But this is how I decorated the set today. And then the other day I built this. Oh, shit. I hope that didn't break. I got this. The T-Rex skull. So that's going to sit up there for quite a while. And then like I said, I'm going to take all of this, disassemble it, and use all these beige pieces and these light brown pieces to make a better palm tree. So I'm going to disassemble all this, and I'm going to use this right here. And I'm going to basically use all the brown pieces on the black base down here. Put a bunch of brown pieces for the dirt. Take all these beige pieces and have it go as high as I possibly can go around this stump. And then buy some more of these green leaves at the Orlando Lego store down in downtown Orlando, which I'll probably vlog. And because I live in Florida, bada bing, bada boom, have a palm tree of my own design. So that's the idea. And did this break? I hope it didn't break. Nice! It did not break. You guys all know what this is. This is the amulet from Monster Squad. Oh, yeah. Movie prop master, bitches. That's right. That's right. All right, let me put this back. There we are. Little Star Trek there. I can't wait for Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. We've waited long enough. I want me some more Trek. I need me some more Trek. There we are. There we go. Anyway. Lantern says, okay. Lantern, you weren't impressed with it? Well, shame on you, Lantern. Shame on you. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. Anyway. Let's see here. Let me grab my top 10 book. Let's start with this. Let's start with the top 10 things I love about my dad, which is a lot, because he's my dad. So, but I thought I would, to honor him, because, Father's Day's coming up, I thought he would make the top 10 book. Every year he'll make the top 10 book, because whenever Father's Day comes around every single year, I will put him in there. That's right, y'all. All right. Let's see here. But I hope everybody's having a good day. So what did you guys do today? Put what you did in the chat. Thank you for the 12 people watching. Yo, Bukaki, what's going on? He says, yo. What's up, Bukaki? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. By the way, Bukaki, I don't know if you heard, but I asked my mom if my dad had watched The Park Is Mine, and she couldn't remember. But just by watching it, I know for a fact my dad would fucking love that movie, Bukaki. Thank you so much for the recommendation. It's I already rated it on my movie app, bada bing, and it's on the wall. So I'll probably watch it again around Halloween time. Even though it's not really a Halloween movie, Bukaki, it's fucking great, so I'm gonna rewatch it. That's right. Yo, Seamus, what's up? What's up, dude? All right, so top 10 things I like about my dad. There we go. All right. Let's see. Bukaki says, "Yeah, I don't think my dad saw it either, but like yours, he would have loved it." Yeah, I just wish Bukaki that my mom could remember because it was right after I watched it. I watched it, and then I think before that stream, I was like, "Hey, let me give my mom a call." I called my mom, and I was like, "Hey, mom, got a question." And she was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I know you and dad watched a lot of like, romantic comedies because I'm like, you like that, mom?" But I said dad liked a lot of he did not like horror. He loved action though. I said, "Mom, dad liked action though." So every once in a while he'd watch a comedy, but it was mainly romantic comedies for my mom, or romantic, dramas for my mom, or just normal comedies or just action. Most likely it was action though. And my mom's like, "I actually don't remember if we watched that, John." And I was like, "Well, mom, even though you can't remember, I'm like, I just watched it. I'm like, I had a fan slash friend recommend it." And she goes, "Yeah, was it any good?" I'm like, "It was beyond good, mom. Beyond." She goes, "Was it really that good?" I said, "Mom, it's got Tommy Lee Jones." I said, "It was fucking great." And she goes, "That's cool." And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Well," she goes, "I know your father liked Tommy Lee Jones." I said, "Yeah, he did." So that's all I got though. But I know for a fact he would have loved it. So yeah. Let's see here. Um, is this a Brian Wilson memorial stream? It can be. I had no idea that he passed away, Bo Shamus. What's up, Bo Shamus? Hung out in some streams and ate some vanilla Oreos. You did, Alex? Nice. Nice. I like vanilla Oreos, but you got to go with the classics. You got to go with the classics. I love either the double stuffed Oreos or just the normal Oreos. Or the Halloween Oreos with the orange filling, which they only do like 1 or 2 weeks near Halloween, and they're hard to get. I got some last year, if you guys remembered, and I was like, those are fucking great. So hell yeah. I did not know that he died, Brian. I'm gonna have to look him up because I don't remember what he looks like. Lantern says, "Are you here, Seamus?" Brian Wilson is not here. Lantern. Oh Lord, is it about hair, Seamus? Could be about hair, Lantern. It could be. Let me look up Brian Wilson because his name sounds familiar, and I think I know who he is. I think he's the guy out of Cobra. I think. I think that's his name. Oh no! I'm tripping. Not he's out of the Beach Boys. I'm sorry. Yeah, it sounded familiar. The guy I'm thinking of, his name is Brian Thompson. The guy out of Cobra and the guy out of Terminator. He's actually the first one that gets killed by the Terminator. Damn, Brian Wilson passed away. That sucks. Damn, he died today. It says born June 20th, 1942, died June 11th, 2025. Damn, that sucks. Wow. And he created one of my favorite songs ever. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Damn, that sucks. Well, Brian, R.I.P. 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 And in honor, I will listen to Wouldn't It Be Nice at the end of this stream. Just remind me in case Fears forgets. But yeah. So yeah. So at the end, I'll take off my headphones and I'll turn up the music and we'll listen to it. That sucks. Well, Bo Shamus, thank you for telling me about that. But it sucks that he died. Damn, that sucks. I loved his music. It's one of my favorite songs. Wouldn't it be nice? Love it. And I love the Beach Boys. Man, that sucks. Damn. That sucks. Wow. All right. Top 10 things I like about my dad. Well, he served. He served in the army, so his service, his army service. That's the first thing. He was a military police officer, and then on the weekends he made extra money, and he was a paratrooper. And he jumped out of airplanes. So hell yeah. He's a lot braver than me. You wouldn't catch Fears jumping out of airplanes. That was a direct quote that I said to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, it must have been nice to make, 1,000 extra bucks." And he was like, "Yeah, it was." And because he would make money as a military police officer during the week, and then they would give him $1,000 on the weekend to jump out of airplanes. Direct quote from my dad. And I was like, "You wouldn't catch me doing that." He's like, "Not even for $1,000, John." I was like, "Add a couple more zeros onto that, Dad, and then I would do it." But I said, "For $1,000, no, I said, you're a lot braver than me, Dad. I said, you wouldn't catch Fears doing that shit. No, 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 no. Army/service. Okay. Um, when he did joke, my dad was hilarious. My dad was more strict and more of a serious guy, but when he did joke, he was a lot funnier than me. So yeah, and I'm pretty funny, and I love to make you guys laugh. But when my dad nailed a joke, I was like, "Oh shit, that was fucking hilarious." So yeah, so his jokes were pretty good. Um, the vacations that we went, my dad planned some pretty rad fucking vacations. So planning of the vacations, we had a lot of good times. Uh, mm, Oh, just like me, my dad was a Boy Scout, so whenever we built my Pinewood Derby cars, and we won every single time except for one time. So I got first every single time, except for one guy made his car like really like skinny and smooth, and my dad said you have to build curves into the wood, John, so the wind can hit the wood. And my dad was right because we I won first every single year, except for that fucking kid that made he had like a long it was like this, but he had like a long skinny car. Like it doesn't that was I mean that wasn't against the rules. You can take your block of wood and they say you can paint it, you can do whatever you want. You just have to go by these guidelines. And it doesn't say anything in the rules about how skinny you can make your car. So he skinned it down to like that skinny, put the wheels on it. So one year I got second. One year I got second, but for like a lot of years, it's like first, second, first. So, um, all the Boy Scout stuff we did together was pretty badass. Let's see here. He was my hero, so I'm gonna put down my hero. Oh well, he still is my hero. You know what I mean? My hero. Um, his love for movies, just like Fears. He loved movies, but not as much as me. I'm obsessed with movies. He loves movies. So his love for movies, his love for Star Trek. My dad loved some Trek. He thought Star Wars was yeah. He thought it was okay, but man, he liked some Trek, and he actually got me into Trek. I probably would have liked it even if my dad wouldn't have introduced it to me. But thank God my dad introduced me to it. So I have that memory of me and my dad watching Trek. Oh yeah, his love for Trek. And these are just some things off the top of my head. There's other things. Um, his unconditional love to me. It's pretty awesome. Let's see here. Mm, he loved animals. He loved Penny. He loved Enzo. So his love for animals. And then he always treated my mom like a lady. Always, always. So my dad was a true gentleman. So true gentleman. And he passed that down to the Fears man. I always try to treat ladies with the utmost respect. Now, sometimes I have, done a joke against ladies that have went too far because I knew I had to say that because they're like, "Well, Fierce, what about that three-way joke that you told a few weeks ago?" Well, that was a joke, but mainly, usually, I treat people with dignity and respect, guys and girls. So yeah, yo, Walter, what's up? So Walter says, "There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes." What? I'm your hero? Well, thanks, buddy. That was really nice of you to say that. There goes my hero. He's original. Nice. Thanks, buddy. Well, cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to you. And hey, uh, I just dusted. Not yesterday. I dusted the movie prop shelf. There was a lot of dust on the signed vodka bottle, so I just dusted it right off. So it's still sitting there. At some point, I got to put it. Well, I just put the normal Crystal Skull vodka bottle in the back, but I haven't put your signed one. I don't think on here yet, but it's going to. It's going to. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I'm going to see if my audio, let me take this off, because usually if I plug in my headphones, it corrects the audio, because I only like to wear my headphones if I'm editing, and I'm not editing right now, so I'm going to see if that corrected the audio. Because when I first started, it was like, "Hi, I'm Fears," and I was like, I don't want to be a fucking robot. So hang on, let me take these out. So let me see if it corrected the audio. Let me just play this back. Give me 1 second. Did it fix it? Because when I first started, it was like, "Hi, I'm Fears," and I was like, I don't want to be a fucking robot. So hang on, let me take these out. Let's see here. And so let me see if. Oh, there it is. The audio. Good, it fixed it. Thank God. Thank God. Because I didn't want to wear these all fucking night. Walter says, "Yes, you are my hero." Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate you being a good friend and a loyal and loving fan, my friend. There you are. If you ever had any empty Crystal Skull vodka bottles, that you ever don't want, I'd take them. I make flower vases out of them. Oh, nice. Well, so far I've got 4, and I got them all. They're all different. I've got 5, including yours. I've got the signed Crystal Skull vodka bottle with the vodka still in it. Then I have my original Crystal Skull, the very first one I ever bought. Then I have the multicolored one. Then I have the skull one that looks kind of like a human skull. It's like got a vanilla white color to it. And then there's the black Crystal Skull. So, and then I have the real tiny one, the real tiny Crystal Skull. So I'm not gonna get rid of any of those. But I still have a Crystal Skull vodka in the fridge that I haven't finished. So Walter, as soon as I finish that one, I'll wash it out and I'll mail it to you, buddy. And I'll even sign it. I'll put, "Yo, Walter from the Fears Man. Yeah, dude." So I'll do that for you, my friend. No problem. Absolutely no problem. All right, let's see. What was I doing here? So, the 10 things that I like about my dad. These are just 10. There's 1,000 more. I like that he served in the Army 10 years. 10 years. I like his jokes. He was a really good planner when he planned the vacations. All the Boy Scout stuff that we did together, he's definitely my hero. His love for movies, his love for Star Trek, his unconditional love to his whole family, his love for animals, and he was a true gentleman. Heck yeah. All right, moving right along. All right. Let's see. Some of the greatest movie locations. Let's see. Some of the greatest. Greatest movie locations of all time. I mean, I'm going to start big. I'm going to say all of the Escape from New York movie locations that me and my friend Travis went to and like filmed. You guys just haven't seen it yet because I'm still behind. But I've got about 6 or 7 vlogs, and then I'll be back up to date. Oh, yeah. So, I'm going to say the St. Louis ones. St. Louis, Escape from New York locations. Let's see. Oh, did he really? Oh, I didn't know that, Bo Shamus. Huh. That's cool. Seamus, I couldn't find anything online. How did that guy? How did Brian Wilson die? You know, here I'll try and find it. Hang on. I need to use the restroom anyway, so let me look this up, and then I'm gonna use the restroom. Yeah, I love the Beach Boys. I love Wouldn't It Be Nice? How did Brian Wilson die? Let's see here. Wow, he died at 82. Damn. Well, that's a long, fulfilling life. Let's see here. It's too bad. He was a really good music maker. Let me read this. Let's see here. I'm trying to find something. It just says It doesn't say how he died. It just says dies at 82. But I'm trying to find something that says what he died of. Let's see. Brian Wilson, the musical genius behind the Beach Boys, dies at 82. And then, let's see here. Let me scroll down. Wilson's family announced his death Wednesday morning on Facebook. We're at a loss of words right now. In the post, what they said: please respect our privacy at this time as our family is grieving. Well, yeah, obviously. That's probably why nobody can get any information. The statement didn't reveal a cause of death. It sucks. I mean, that sucks that he passed away, but I was kind of curious on why he passed, or how he passed. Not why, how he passed away. Well, that's all I could find. All right, I'm going to use the restroom, but R.I.P. Brian Wilson. You were a kick-ass music maker, buddy. And you made one of my favorite songs of all time. Wouldn't it be nice? I love that song. So I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. All right. Sorry about that. All right, let's see here. Oh, sweet. 12 people are still watching. I always think, I'm like, oh man, I was gone for a while. Hopefully everyone's still here. So, all right. Let's get a moseying. All right, greatest movie locations of all time. Let's see here. I would say all the Goonie locations in Astoria are pretty legendary. Goonies location in Astoria. And Walter, I'm filling it out. We've only got this is your top 10 book. It's not all top 10. I need to think of a better, like, Fears Vlogs book, or the Fears. You know what? I'm going to call it from now on the Fears Podcast books. The Fears Podcast. So I've got that much more to go, buddy. And then I'm going to send it to you. Because I do put top 10s in here, but I don't put, it's not just all top 10s. It's like all the notes in case I have to refer to something, you know, in the show. So yeah, dude. All right, let's see. I would say all the Ghostbuster locations, LA and New York, because they shot some stuff, like they shot all the inside of the firehouse in LA, in an LA firehouse that matched. They made the two buildings, the one in New York and the one in LA, were both, those two firehouses looked identical, and they were both made in 1920, I believe. And so they shot all the inside stuff in the LA one, and then they shot all the outside stuff, or like when they drop Lewis off because he's nuts, they knock on the door, and then Egon steps out, and he steps right out onto the street in the firehouse, and then they had the shot where the black doors open up and the Echo one flies out like at max speed and loops around the corner. They did all that in New York. So I would say Ghostbusters, LA locations, which I still need to do, because now that I've got almost all the Escape from New York stuff, really the only place they shot in New York for Escape from New York was they shot on the Statue of Liberty Island, whatever that island is called. That's one of the opening shots. And then they shot by that big gray brick wall, and it leads up to their hideout or whatever the fuck it was. And then it just cuts to St. Louis. So they only shot there for like 2 days, which makes no fucking sense. But thank God they did, because my hometown, that's where they shot one of the greatest movies of all time. Fuck yeah. So Ghostbuster LA locations / New York locations for Ghostbusters. Yo, what's up, Crumbles? Yes, I know. Bo Shamus just told me. I mean, some of the Beach Boys are still alive. Not many, but some of them. But Brian Wilson. So in honor of him, at the end of this, I'm going to listen to Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys. But it was written by Brian Wilson, and it's one of my favorite songs. It's not my favorite song, but it's high on the list. All right, let's see. What else? What's another good movie location? I'm going to say all the locations for TMNT. That was in New York, too, so TMNT. The first one. The second one, it's good. The third one is shit, crap, garbage. I wish they never would have made the third one where they travel through time and shit. It's a good concept. It was just executed fucking terrible. Garbage. But the first two were fucking great. And the first two, some scenes were filmed in New York, and then the other part of it was filmed in North or South Carolina, and they made the sets look like New York, because whenever I interviewed Richard DeVizio, the guy that played Kano and Baraka and all that from the video game, Joey, what's up? Joey, you were there whenever I interviewed the guy, Richard DeVizio from back in the day at the mansion. You know, I sat in front of all my Ghostbuster stuff, and Richard DeVizio came in. That interview with him was fucking badass, because I'm a fan of Turtles, and he played, in Turtles 2, he played 3 characters. He played a foot soldier, he played a guy with one of those fish nets over his face that like takes over the toy shop, and they're like he plays one of the burglars. And then the third one he plays he's way in the background. He's way in the background at the beginning of Turtles 2 when Keno picks up his pizza and he's the pizza delivery guy. Richard DeVizio is in the background making pizza. So he played 3 characters. He played like a pizza maker and all that shit, and then he played the other 2 characters. And I was like, oh shit, there he is. Yeah, Kano, Joey, that guy. So now I've interviewed him. I've hung out with him 4 times. 2 times at a convention, and then, I'm sorry, 3 times at a convention. And then the 4th time was me interviewing him for the 2nd time, because I interviewed him a 2nd time when he was down here for Florida Free Play. So 2 times at a Missouri convention, 1 time when I interviewed him the 1st time, and the second interview was at Florida Free Play. So I've hung out with him 4 times. He's a good guy, good friend. So TMNT, South Carolina movie locations / New York. Let's see, I've got 4 so far. Let's see. I would say all the Terminator 1, LA. It was filmed almost entirely at night, except for like 1 or 2 shots during the day, and pretty much all of it was shot in downtown LA. So downtown LA Terminator. So I've got 5 so far. I'll do 10. I'll try to make it an even 10. I'm not trying to just put like any willy-nilly, on there. I'm trying to think of like actual good ones. Because those 5 are pretty damn good movies. Here, let me go to Google to refresh my memory. Let's see. Popular movie locations. Oh, that big fucking donut, Randy's Donut in LA. They used it in like Iron Man. They've used it in so many like big 80s movies and 90s. So whenever I go to LA, the last time I was in LA was with my mom, my dad, and my brother, and we went to a lot of movie locations, but me and my dad, we forgot to hit up Randy's Donuts. So that's definitely on my list. Adam the Woobas went to Randy's Donuts. So Randy's Donuts, they've used that in so many fucking films, it's beyond belief. There's a massive fucking donut on the fucking donut shop. I mean, the fucker's huge. Randy's Donuts. Let's see here. The Rocky Stairs. Rocky Stairs, Philadelphia. It's right in front of the it's some type of museum. I think it's an art museum. I think. That's another place. I want to go inside the museum and check out the art, because I love art. I'm an artist. I love all forms of art. Plus, Fears wants to run his ass up those fucking stairs and be like, fucking Adrian, I love you, Adrian, you motherfucker. And like fucking, run up the stairs and recreate it. I kind of recreated it in my last St. Louis vlog that I uploaded, but it's not enough. It must be the right stairs. That was the St. Louis version. I must have the Philadelphia version. It's a must. So Rocky Stairs. Let's see, what else? Rocky Stairs. If you guys know a good one, put it in the chat. Mr. Lantern says, howdy, Crumbles. Howdy, Joey. It's Joey with the numbers. Well, howdy. Yeah, Joey, I tried. I tried the other day. Like Sega said, well, Fears, I unblocked Joey. I was like, well, then let him in. I said, I'll give him the link. And then he literally wrote, I swear, Joey, he wrote me a message. And he's like, fears don't let him in. I was like, well, why not? I said, why not? And he was like, because we're still mending the wounds. And I was like, all right, Sega, whatever. So yeah. I ran up the rocky stairs, but it was kind of lame because people were getting wedding photos taken near the top of the stairs. Well, it's good and it's bad, Bukaki. It's good that they got married. You know, I would have went over and said, hey, I would have wished them luck. And then classic Fear style would have been like, hey, good luck. You know, good luck in life. I'm glad you got married. Now, get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to, you know, shoot a video, and I'm trying to run up the stairs. In that order. Hey, guys, congratulations. You're awesome. All right, move the fuck out of the way so I can get my Rocky shot. I'm just joking. I wouldn't have done that. Probably what I would have done is I would have went over and congratulated them, and then I would have waited until they were done, and then I would have got the shot, you know, but hey, at least you ran up the stairs, buddy. At least you ran up those stairs. I'm going to give it a big thumbs up. But yeah, Joey, I tried. I really did. I tried. But Sega wasn't having it. Lantern says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fart. Well, Lantern, you're in luck because I just farted about 2 minutes ago. So it warrants that. It does. It was just silent but deadly, my friend. All right, let's see. We need 3 more movie locations. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of, like, some really good ones. Let's see here. I would say Disney World. They've shot a lot of stuff at Disney World and Disneyland. They've shot a lot of television shows and a lot of movies at Disney World. They shot almost everything of Beverly Hills Cop 3 in Disneyland and Disney World. They just changed up the name. The Walt Disney World company said, you can't use Disney World. So they created like Wonder World or some shit. Or Wonderland or whatever the hell it was called. So Disney World / Disneyland. They shot 2 episodes of Full House there. They shot 2 episodes of Family Matters there. And tons other TV shows and movies and shit. Let's see, what else? I would put down the Ghostbuster Firehouse, but I already put Ghostbuster LA locations and New York locations, so that's under that. What else? The Mrs. Doubtfire House from San Francisco. That's a good one. And then, let's see here. Oh, hush, Lantern. I will take as long as I want. Fears will be right back. Lantern, you're like, I went to the bathroom ages ago, buddy. You're late. You're late on this. That's all right, Lantern. You're hilarious. Let's see. What else? I would say all the James Bond movie locations, and almost all of that shit. Even though they film all around the world, a lot of the James Bond movies, they start and end in London, because that's where James Bond's from. The middle part, James Bond is traveling, you know, here, there, and everywhere. So, James Bond, London locations. There we are. All right. I'm trying to, Mrs. Doubtfire, I may scratch that one out. That one's all right, but, oh! Out of Die Hard, the Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah, I'm scratching out Mrs. Doubtfire. Hang on. Die Hard. That was also in LA. That one's way better than Mrs. Doubtfire. Way better. Way better. Oh, yeah. What's up, Lantern? Lantern's going nuts in the chat. But it's good, though. It's good. Better spray the bathroom. I did, Lantern. I did. I already sprayed in there. I always spray, Lantern. whether I go number 1 or I go number 2 lantern, because pee can smell. Not trying to gross anyone out. Pee and poop can smell, and I always spray it. Whether it's number 1 lantern or number 2, I give it a little spray, and then we're all good to go. All right, time for some movie reviews. Let's start with. Well, speaking of Escape from New York, Escape from LA, bitches. It's good. It's just not as good as Escape from New York, but it's a pretty good sequel. All right, so Escape. And I thought I had already done this one, but I have not done a review yet of it on my movie app. And even though me and Jason Cool don't get along anymore, I love him for that movie app. Thank God he showed me. Escape. So at the end of my life, I can look at that app and be like, hey, Fierce, you got through this many movies. Escape from LA. So it takes place 16 years after Escape from New York. So 16 years later. Because as Snake Plissken gets to the LA jail, there's a news reporter and she's like, war hero, war criminal, Snake Plissken. It's been 16 years since his triumphant rescue of the president from New York. Let's see if we can get an interview. And then he gets off the bus and kind of looks at her and kind of gives her a fuck you look. He doesn't look at the interviewer and he keeps on going. So yeah. Yo, what's up, Sam? He says, how many movies do you have on the app already? Well, let's have a look. Let me, where's my phone? Let me grab my phone. Hang on. Good to see you, Sam. So, if you guys have never downloaded this app, it's called Letterbox. It's right there. Letterbox right there. And let's have a look. There we are. So, I'm following 7 people and I've got 7 followers. And so far I've done 475 reviews, which is 475 movies. So right there. But so far this year, just this year alone, I've watched 331 movies. At the very top. So 331 this year. But overall, 475. So not too bad. Not too shabby. So not too bad. I've got a hell of a lot more than that, so I've watched a bunch, but many, many, many more to go. Because if you remember, Sam, these are the movies I haven't watched yet. And then all of these movies I have watched. All up here. Except for the ones right there in the middle. Right there. Those in the middle I haven't watched. These 3 right here. But way up there I've watched. These I've watched off to the left. These and further down. Just those. Those 3 piles, I'm running out of room, so I haven't watched those. So yeah. Yep. Leonard says, well, howdy, Sammy. Hiya. Oh, dang, that's a lot. I'm happy. I've seen 12 this year so far. 12's not bad. 12 is not bad. But yeah. I like your new picture, Sam. I forgot what you had last time, but it's been a minute. It's been a while. So, do you think you're going to add any more new content to your channel, Sam? I'm just curious. Or do you think you're done? I'm just curious. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, 16 years later, from Escape from New York to Escape from LA. So, Snake Plissken's a little older, and before he gets caught, he was trading guns in Bangkok, and then It doesn't really tell you how he got caught. He just got caught, and they shipped him to LA for a mission. So, got caught in Bangkok. It just says trading guns, just trading guns. It's either trading guns or selling guns. I can't remember. And they ship him to LA for a mission. So, yeah. Sam says, nah, I'm probably done. I think you should start up your Twitch again. But yeah, that's up to you, my friend. That's up to you. And let me know, Sam, whenever you want to hang out again, and we'll trade numbers, because I lost your. Well, I didn't lose your number. You never got back to me, so I just deleted your number. All right, I'm gonna give Escape from LA. Well, Escape from New York gets a 10 out of 10. So it's not that I don't like this. I do like it. It's just not as good as Escape from New York. Let's see. Escape from New York gets a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give this... I wouldn't even give it a 9. It's pretty good. I'd probably give it an 8.9. So it's almost a 9. 8.9 out of 10. 8.9 out of 10. A lot of action. There's a lot of action. Great sets. Amazing sets. They shot the whole thing in LA, and they used some like really dirty alleyways, and then they actually rebuilt some buildings like the Chinese Man's Theater. Well, obviously they can't trash the real one, so they made a crappy version of the Chinese Man's Theater, and they used a lot of map paintings, like that big ship in Los Angeles' harbor, the Queen Victoria or whatever, where you can go and eat lunch and dinner on it. They did a map painting of the broken down ship, and then he walks into the ship. Well, the inside, that was all a set and all that crap. So, amazing sets. He gets a new costume. He gets a new costume in this one, where it's all black, and he has this silver belt buckle, this awesome black like trench coat, black pants, black boots. He has these black gun holsters to hold his silver guns, and a silver belt. Pretty badass. But I still like his original look. His original look is a black shirt with a brown kind of Indiana Jones jacket with white and gray camo pants with like black boots in the first one. So yeah, so new suit, but his new suit looks all right. His new suit looks pretty cool. There's his new suit, the black shirt with the black trench coat with his iconic eye patch. Hell yeah, new suit. And my favorite scene is not even in the movie. My favorite scene ever of Snake, which defines his character, is in Escape from LA's trailer. And it zooms up and it says, like, no talking, no smoking, no red meat. If you want to get married, you must have a license. You know, all these rules. And then there's this big-ass explosion that happens behind Snake Plissken. And he just kind of turns and says, you know, your rules. And then pause. Your rules are really beginning to annoy me. And then fucking fade out. That's my favorite scene. And it's not even in the fucking movie, so I'm going to put down favorite trailer scene is that. Trailer scene is Your Rules. But my two favorite scenes out of the film is when some guy starts mouthing off. So he's like some skinhead punk rocker guy. And he's like, yo, Snake. He goes, look at me in my face when I fucking talk to you. And then he goes to kill Snake Plissken. He pulls out a knife because he's going to throw it. Snake just turns around, doesn't say anything, just blows the motherfucker away. Like, just shoots him with a machine gun. Looks back, shoots him, and then exit, stage left. And goes that way. So, the skinhead punk scene. That's probably my favorite. My second favorite is towards the end. He makes a joke about Disneyland and Disney World. They're flying through the air, and in their movie, obviously they can't call it Disney World or Disneyland. I'm sorry, they can't call it Disneyland because Disneyland's in California. They're flying through these like hang gliders, and they have to land in the Happy Kingdom because that's where the bad guy is hosting like a big meeting, and Snake Plissken has to take down the bad guy at the end of the film. And he looks over to somebody, he says, "Hey," he goes, "is that place the place that I'm thinking of?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." He goes, whenever the big earthquake happened, they kept changing names, and they kept changing company names. And what really broke that company was the Happy Kingdom in Paris. So they basically make a joke and say that, like, Euro Disney, like, killed that company, which in actuality it didn't. Anytime they put a Disney, like, in other foreign countries, that gives them shitloads of money. But it was kind of a nice inside joke where they're like, "Oh yeah, like that's why they had to keep changing names." And then before the big earthquake that destroyed LA, because in their movie, what destroys LA and becomes a new prison is they had a massive, 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 like, earthquake, like 9.7 on the Richter scale, destroyed everything, or practically everything. And in their timeline, it happens in the year 2000, and then this takes place in the future of 2013. So yeah, but I like that Disney joke. So I'm gonna put down my second scene is the Happy Kingdom joke. Good stuff. Kurt Russell is great as Snake Plissken. You couldn't find a better guy for that character, Kurt. Russell is awesome. I've always wanted to get killed by Snake Plissken, so if they ever made a third one, man, I would fly to LA, I would audition, I'd be like, "I don't need any fucking dialogue, just let me get killed by Kurt Russell in the third one." They need to make a third one. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Escape from the World and Snake Plissken goes to Mars or some shit, or Escape from Florida. Whatever, just make a fucking third one. It's a must. It has to fucking happen. So I'm going to write down, they must make a third one. Period. There it is. There we are. All right. Next, Prince of Darkness. Good old Donald Pleasance style right there. So already you know the film's going to be good because it's got such a legendary actor as Donald Pleasance. Dr. Loomis from Halloween, hello. There we are. So, Prince. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I recommend Escape from LA? I do. I do recommend it. Prince of Darkness. I'm gonna give it a let's see here. I'm gonna give it a 9.1 out of 10, my friends. 9.1 out of 10. Let's see here. I do recommend it. It's a good one. It's not your typical horror movie. Not your typical horror movie. And a great fun fact about this movie is I don't remember the name of John Carpenter's film school, but in the opening credits you see this. He's one of the main characters. He walks from a college building into another college building, and all those college shots were shot at John Carpenter's film school. I think it was UCLA. I think that's where he went to film school. But he wanted to go back and shoot at his school. So yeah, I thought that was really cool to go back to your roots. Like, my school doesn't, well, it does exist, it just doesn't exist in Arizona. They moved my film school back to LA. So Collins College was in LA. It was in, they had one in New York. They had one in Arizona. And they had one somewhere else. And I don't know why, but they decided to close the school in Tempe, Arizona, where I went. And they moved it back to LA. That's the last thing I heard about my school. Jason told me that before me and Jason stopped talking, because me and him don't agree on anything, because he's nuts. So, yeah. So, John Carpenter shot at his old school. Let's see. Sam says, when was the last time you watched a truly bad movie? Oh, God. Two come to mind, Sam. That Ski Patrol bullshit. It just had a funny, like, look to it, like the cover. And that's the only, well, there's two. But Joystick wasn't as bad as Ski Patrol. Joystick is like an 80s comedy with lots of boobies. And it's like one arcade versus another arcade. And they're like, all right, like, whoever wins the champion arcades gets to keep their arcade up. The other one has to close down. That one's all right. Well, it's still bad, but it's a lot better than Ski Patrol. I remember I went home, and usually Vintage Stock, my favorite store, or, well, one of my favorite stores. Vintage Stock is probably my first favorite, and then Slackers in Mid Rivers Mall in St. Peters, Missouri, where my mom lives near that. She lives in Wentzville. St. Peters is like, without traffic, probably 10 minutes away. With traffic, probably 20 minutes away. So I'm looking through, Sam, and the cover looked hilarious. Ski Patrol. And I went, all right, yeah, that looks hilarious. I'll get it. I show everybody. I'm like, hey, check it out. Yeah, man, this is going to be, oh, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I watch it, and then the next day I'm like, it's shit. It's crap. It's garbage. And it was so damn boring. So that's the first one. That was horrible. I gave it like a -1 out of 10. It was so fucking crap garbage. So that would be the first one. The second one would be probably Drainiac. But it's one of those movies where it's so bad, Sam, it's good. Drainiac makes me laugh because it's so fucking terrible. It's god awful. I'd say those two movies, Ski Patrol and Drainiac. So yeah. Sam says, lots of boobies. How could a movie with that be possibly bad? Because it's forced humor. Like, I'm not saying it's totally bad, Sam. Like, look it up. It's called Joystick. It's good because there's a lot of boobies in it. I mean, there's boobies flopping all around. That's the good part. The other part, I don't like when people force the humor in movies. It's either funny or it's not funny. And they were trying too hard with the humor. They're like, yeah, it's great. Laugh, 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 laugh. And I'm like, I don't find this funny. Zero funny. I don't find it funny at all. So I didn't like it because they were trying to force the humor. But the boobies were good. There's like 13 to 14 boobies in that movie. And I'm like, nice. So that part of it, my friend, was good. But forced humor, it's either funny or it's not funny. And that movie was not funny. And they were really trying to be funny. And it was too forced. And I was like, you people are not funny whatsoever. Zero funny. So yeah. All right, back to Prince of Darkness. So I do recommend it. I gave it a 9.1 out of 10. Not your typical horror movie. John Carpenter shot scenes at his old school. It's basically Satan. Satan is trying to take over the world. So it's a dystopian film. Alice Cooper is in the film. John Carpenter really likes Alice Cooper's music. And he asked Alice Cooper as a favor. He goes, hey, do you want to be in a movie? And he was like, hell yeah, I love your movies. Plus, we're friends. I'd love to. So Alice Cooper makes an appearance in the film. And he gets to kill, Alice Cooper gets to kill one of the main characters, which is one of my favorite scenes. I'll get to that in a minute. Alice Cooper makes a couple of cameos. It's not a full part. It's just a couple of cameos. All right, my two favorite scenes. Here we go. So this guy hears this noise. He's kind of like a dorky guy. He's got glasses on. He's walking down this alleyway, and he sees somebody has like killed a bird and put this bird on a cross, and he's like, what the hell is this? And then he looks off to the right, like down the alleyway, and at first, it's just Alice Cooper just like kind of staring at him like a zombie. He's like just staring at him like this, and then he looks behind him, and so they've entrapped him. So he's in the middle. There's bad guys over here, and there's homeless people over here. They're not really, I mean, they're not bad because they're homeless, but in the movie, the devil has kind of made all the homeless people like, hey, I'm the devil. You're going to do whatever I say you're going to do. And he's basically like, turn them into mind-numbing zombies, like where they're just like staring there like this, and then they just walk. So there's people on this. So here's the dorky guy. Here's like a group of homeless people, and they're just staring him down. And he's like, "Can I help you with something? Hello." And then he looks this way, and there's Alice Cooper. And Alice Cooper just takes this metal sharp object and just shoves it right through the guy's chest. Bam! He kills that guy. He's dead. And then they're just staring at him like there for a couple of seconds. And it's the most weirdest scene ever. He's like, the only time you get a reaction out of him, he kind of grits his teeth like when he shoves the pole through the guy and kills the guy. But besides that, after he kills the dorky guy with the glasses, they're all like just staring him down. Like just looking at his lifeless, deadless corpse. And it just freezes on them for a couple seconds, and then it moves on to the next scene. It's such a weird scene, but it was cool to see Alice Cooper kill somebody in a movie. So, killing of the nerdy guy. Killing the nerdy guy. And then probably the second favorite scene is some guy's standing out in the parking lot, and some girl that's contracted this disease that the devil, takes over these people. She just stares him down, and she's got all this gray makeup on, and her eyes, they must have put like black contacts in her. She's staring the guy down, and then all of a sudden, this guy's got the disease. All these bugs start coming out of his body, and it is a weird fucking scene, man. So the bug scene is probably my second favorite. And I hadn't seen this in quite a while, so it was good to watch this again. I will watch it again around Halloween. Let's see. But yeah, those are my notes. Pretty good stuff. There we go. All right. Thank you for the 3 likes. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, I think that's a good place to stop. I will get to reviewing this tomorrow, my friends. But I think that's a good place to stop. So we got to a lot of topics today. But I will see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, as always. And catch my next workout stream tomorrow, my friends. But I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody that watched silently, and everybody that watched and put some comments in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best fans in the world. Hell yeah. But I'm taking off. I haven't had any dinner. So I'm going to try to get a vlog out very soon. I've been really busy finishing all my laundry. And my apartment is clean, but I'm trying to make it immaculate for whenever my family comes to visit next month. So that'll be cool. Hanging out with my cousins, hanging out with my aunt and my uncle, and doing a vlogs and going nuts and going ballistic. It's gonna be good. Anyway, I'm taking off. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, and spread the word about my channel. I appreciate it, my friends. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my friend Bukaki on YouTube. Subscribe to Egotistical Commando on YouTube. Subscribe to Mr. Lantern on YouTube. Subscribe to Bo Shamus on YouTube. Will Bo Shamus ever get that hair? I don't know. I don't really care, but you need that hair. Get on that hair, Bo Shamus. Lantern, look into my eyes. Cut off some hair and give it to Bo Shamus. If you won't, Lantern, then I will. And you guys know I will. Don't think I won't. You guys know Fears is a legend in the community. I'll be like, all right, Lantern, you didn't send him some hair. Hey, Bo Shamus. Snip, 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 snip. And I will mail him some of my hair. So, Bo Shamus, I got you covered. I got you covered, my friend. Anyway, and last, but certainly not least, follow the host with the most, Fears. FearsMan26 on YouTube. Fears Vlogs is channel number 2. And this is Fears, signing off. Peace. Deuces. And I'll see you guys later. Hey, Lantern. All right, bye.